Queens. Welcome to our first episode of Legacy Talks. I am your host, your girl, Sister Sha Gibson. Legacy Talks is a beautiful, creative baby of the Louisiana Black Legacy Arts Film and Arts Festival, and I am also your brand ambassador of that festival. Here at Legacy Talks, our goal is to learn, encourage, grow, and challenge you that you are the best you possible. We will be interviewing local legacy legends and celebrity legacy legends. More importantly, we're going to have a good time while we're doing it. You and me and you, we're going to have a good time. That's what we're here to do. And we're here to spread some knowledge. So let's get this episode started. Our topic today is going to be mental health, and I have a beautiful sister, Queen Sister, that's going to be joining me today. Her name is Dr. Tiffany Zachery. Y'all put y'all hands together. Come on. For my sister, Dr.
Hi,
Tiffany.
everybody.
What's going on, Ladybug? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am good. I'm so glad that you came to join us today. Let me go ahead and let the people know a little bit about you. I know you're going to give us a little bit more, but just to kind of let y'all know, this sister right here that's on the screen with me, that's sharing this episode with me, she is an international best-selling author, a licensed clinical social worker, board-certified clinical supervisor, life coach. She has a doctorate in higher education, leadership, research with a concentration in administration. That's pretty good, huh?
That's a lot.
Girl, you've been doing a lot. I've been studying you, girl. I've been studying this. So outside of the little minute introduction that I gave, because you have a plethora of things under your belt, can you let the audience know who is Dr. Tiffany Zachery?
Well, I'm a native of Louisiana, Washington, Louisiana, to be exact. I have my own private practice here in the All Center in Lafayette. I'm a single mom to my beautiful 2-year-old London. And at this time, I'm doing virtual sessions to my clients who are experiencing, of course, things that are going on with the coronavirus. And I'm getting a lot of new clients. So I've been busy with that. But for now, that's about it. I'm trying to focus on that because it's a little bit overwhelming, because I've never experienced anything like this before as a clinician in my own practice.
Absolutely. How long have you been a therapist?
I've been a therapist. I got my license in 2011, but of course I was practicing before in graduate school. I did a lot of case management work and things of that nature. I didn't open my private practice until January of last year. So before that, I did agency work, hospitals, nursing homes, things of that nature.
Okay. I love that. So what was the turning point in your life that made you want to serve the people?
The turning point for me was growing up, of course, in a household that wasn't the best due to generational issues, mental health issues, substance abuse issues, the generational, I guess you would say, I hate to use this word, but curses that fell upon us. And I just wanted my legacy to be different. I didn't want my daughter to have to go through therapy as I'm doing at 34 years old to try to undo a lot of things that were placed upon me that didn't have anything to do with me.
Oh, wow. That was a big journey to take on, to want to change the dichotomy of your of the past within your family. So what are some of the things that you see whenever you talk to different clients that is very reoccurring, that you see with your clients as far as dealing with anxiety and depression? What are some of the things that you find reoccurring?
Definitely a lot of depression, anxiety, autism. I have a lot of adults who have ADHD who've been diagnosed as adults. A lot of trauma. I've gotten a lot of trauma lately. And bipolar disorder. That's a big one for me.
Okay. So for those of us who don't know, are there different types of anxiety?
Yeah, so you have generalized anxiety disorder, which is individuals who worry. They'll wake up with anxiety. It doesn't have to, there's nothing specific that triggers it. That's the simplest way for me to put it. And then you may have adjustment disorder with anxiety, which means you may have an issue that caused your anxiety. For instance, say I got in a bad accident and now I have anxiety anytime I get in a vehicle. That was caused because of my accident. It's not necessarily me worrying about paying my bills or worrying about if my daughter's going to be okay when she goes off to college. Something that hasn't even happened yet, just worrying. So that's the main difference between those. One is pretty much worrying for, I'm not going to say anything for no reason, but not anything particular. And then you have adjustment disorder that's caused by a certain situation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then of course, you have your social anxieties, your phobias and things like that. But I've never had a client with social anxiety.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I kind of went through, and I'm still, every day is pushes me a little bit better. After the loss of my mom, it kind of uh it took a lot, because it's just the three of us, my mom, my brother, and myself. So, it started because I immediately went back to work. So it weighed heavily on me. And, waking up, and I traveled such a great distance to go to work. Um, it was a pull for me. It got to a point that when I woke up in the morning, I was just like, I could feel it. And then while I'm driving, the drive didn't help at all either. So I had to learn a lot about myself, during that time. So yeah, it's tough. I didn't have anybody to talk to, so I just had to kind of push through, and of course, talking to my family, my brother, and he and I are really close. So yeah, the anxiety is real. It
Yes,
is
I
real.
experienced it after my dad died. I never knew what a panic attack was, and it actually feels like you're dying. So I hope that the individuals who do have panic attacks, they take them seriously, because some individuals have panic attacks so bad they may pass out, they'll go into seizures. So because it exhausts your body so much. So anxiety is something that you have to be really cautious about and really take it seriously.
Wow. So are there different types of depression? What's the difference between anxiety and depression? And are there other types of depression as well?
Well, with depression, okay, so you have major depression. Major depression is basically you'll hear doctors say, "Oh, you have depression." Majority of the time, the clinical definition for that is major depressive disorder, and that's something when you have depression for at least a 2 week span that you're feeling helpless, hopeless, you're sad, you're fatigued, your eating is varied, your sleeping is varied, you're irritable, things like that. Then you may have bipolar disorder where you have a week of depression, then you have another week of mania where you just got this burst of energy. You can repaint the house, you can do all these things, and then you'll dip back into a depression, but that varies too. And then you may have adjustment disorder with depressed mood. Like I said, that can be caused by an event that causes your depression. Not saying that you have clinical depression, but it's just you're depressed because this happened. So, like for myself, I have clinical depression. It's sometimes that I get depressed and there's nothing bothering me. I can't tell you why I'm sad. I can't tell you why I don't want to be bothered. That's just a mood that I'm in and I can't shake it.
Wow. Wow. So when that happens, are we just supposed to kind of like go through it? Do we talk to someone? What is the best advice to give us whenever we kind of going through that? Is there such a thing?
Now that is difficult to answer depending on your culture, of course. I found a lot in the African American community. I get a lot of backlash when a lot of my clients come in, especially my college students, because the parents are like, "What are you going to her for? Talking about my business? You don't have depression, and why are you taking this medicine?" My depression was brought on by trauma. My dad had a massive heart attack, and he was my person. So when he passed away, it triggered it from not dealing with my brother was murdered when I was a senior in high school. So for me, I say therapy is a big thing. But there are some people who don't believe in therapy. But there's also, coping mechanisms, exercise, and making sure you have your vitamins, making sure that you have a key support system. And it doesn't have to be a big group of people. It could be one person that's non-judgmental, non-confrontational, that'll sit there and listen, journaling, if you believe in God, get into your word, whatever works for you, meditating, yoga, something that'll just keep your mind still and bring you back to the here and now. Because a lot of times with depression, you have to ride it out if you're not taking medicine or anything like that. But to ride it out, you need some comfort during that time. It's nothing that you could just say, okay, I'm a journal and I'm gonna feel better. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess at that point you have to kind of see where you can draw your peace from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm coming into meditating more,
Mm-hmm.
just sitting still and being quiet. Reading does a lot for me, especially if I'm reading something that's very inspiring or motivating. If I have something, I'm reading two books right now, right? One book is a book that's about Ayanna Van Zandt, that's by Ayanna Van Zandt. So it talks about her life, and she's gone through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so it pulls on me. So I have to be honest, I have to read that early in the day. I can't go to sleep. I can't read that right before I go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to read something that's going to encourage me before I go to bed, or just do meditation before I go to bed. But I find once I'm sitting and I'm still, or I'm reading, or I may be talking to somebody that I know that if I call them, they're going to lift my spirits up, and I will do the same, with them. I find that helps a lot.
And like I said, it just depends on the person. I have some of my clients, they're not on medication, they don't believe in it, and I don't push that on anybody by any means. You have to do what's best for you, and what you feel is best for your body. So coming to me helps them, just to have somebody to talk to that'll listen. So,
and let me tell you, I'm so glad that you said that you're not one of those doctors that's pushing medicine. Yeah, and I mean, like you
I
said,
will tell you now, if it gets to a point, I'm like, we gotta have some different.
You give them that look, right?
Because it's not working. Because I tell a lot of them, your mother first, your father first. So you can't be selfish and say, "Oh, I'm not doing this," and you're not performing at your best in the different roles that you have in your life. So a lot of times I have to sit and explain the biological aspect of medication and not just the socially unacceptable part of it. Like, get that out your mind. Let's talk about your body and what it's doing to your brain and to your heart, and things like that, because you're wearing yourself out.
Mm.
And a lot of times it makes a difference, because they're like, well, I never thought about it like that. So I'm like, okay, if your serotonin levels are low, your dopamine levels are low, where are you going to get that increase at? We've been doing this for a year and nothing has changed. I gave you a chance. So now we have to try something else.
Mm-hmm. So during this time right now, this is very stressful for pretty much everybody.
I'm
right? Yeah, we're all stressed, and I know that you're dealing with because you're dealing with stuff personally. We all are, because we're all kind of like in the same boat. So to speak. We all have quarantines and curfews and things like that. And are there anything that you can give us or about what we can do at home while we have this time, that could minimize stress or anxiety? Is there anything that you would advise or
I would
suggest?
definitely say try to get yourself in a routine, because a lot of us that work, I know for myself, I'm used to a routine. I get up at 6, I'm out the door at 7, get my coffee. I'm at the office at 7:30. I got my 8 o'clock. I don't have that anymore. So it's like now I'm trying to adjust, and it's frustrating me because I have my daughter here because her daycare is closed, and all these different aspects that's going on in the media, this, that, and the third, trying to stay abreast to keep my clients up to date. So I would say definitely try to get yourself a routine that's as similar as the one that you had. It's possible. I know it's not, because some people have more children, they have a husband, this, that, and the third. Also try to make sure that you do something to relax. Some people have been taking a walk, going ride a bike. They take some time to meditate, like I said previously. Just do something to whereas you're consistent throughout the day. Because if you're sitting at the computer doing work, because a lot of us have to work from home from 8 to 5, you're sitting in a room all day, cabin fever is gonna take over. Like, you're not gonna know what to do. You're gonna get irritable. You're gonna get stressed out. You're gonna be eating up everything like I've been doing. I gained about 6 pounds. A lot of people have started drinking more because you don't know what to do with yourself. It's like, I'm not used to this. I'm used to being on the go. So you have to find something that's similar to the life that you had, because after this pandemic is over, we're not going to be the same. Life is not going to go back to business as usual. And that's what everybody thinks, like, oh, once this virus is gone, we go, no, it's not going to be like that. So you have to get used to the new normal of the United States.
Those of us that are dealing with recent losses in our families or friends, what would you what advice would you give us? Because I mean, I know I'm still struggling. My mom just had her 70th birthday. Her birthday was March 22nd, so that was her first birthday of her not being here. So and me and my brother, we talked and stuff, because we were stretching, on that day until, we had to call each other and just tell funny stories to kind of push us through. What advice would you give us who are dealing with loss and still are dealing with loss? It could be as recent as yesterday, a month ago, a year ago, or 10 years ago. What advice would you have for us?
Like yourself and me, who lost our parents, and we may be dealing with that, someone who has passed already. Then you have the group of us who has lost someone due to the coronavirus. So that's two different types of grief. Like I was stating with my dad, Easter was our holiday. It's bad enough we can't congregate for Easter, but there's no way for me to celebrate that loss and the memories that we share, because I'm stuck in the house. So I've been trying to figure out ways that my daughter and I can do something together to celebrate Papa. Also try to do some video chats, of course, with family and friends, especially my mom, because her and my dad, even though they weren't together anymore, they were still really good friends. So that's still a complicated grief for her. Then you have those of us who's lost loved ones due to coronavirus, and it's complicated now because you don't know if they'll have a service. You have to choose who can go to the service, and things of that nature. So for that is I can't even give a clinical answer for that, because I haven't experienced it yet. I've had clients who've experienced it, and the only thing I can tell them is to, like you said before, whatever makes them comfortable, and to make sure that they stay in contact with their loved ones. It's hard because we're quarantined and we can't really go to our loved ones' homes and get that touch that we may need to cry on someone's shoulder, or to get that hug, or to go visit the graveyard to release balloons and things like that. So just make sure you stay in touch. And it sucks that Zoom and all these things are crashing, because people all across the US and probably the nation are using these platforms to stay in touch with one another, medically and personally or whatever. So whatever way you can find some contact, make sure you have it. I don't care if you got to get back old school, writing letters, do something. Yes. At this point, it's all about contact. Yeah, it's at this point, it's all about, we need contact with one another. Like, as human beings, we need, a lot of us are introverts, but even introverts are having a hard time right now. So just imagine an introvert who is grieving. They may just have one person that they could reach out to, but I can't come, and see you, or they can't come and see me for whatever reason. So just make sure you have that contact, even if it's a text, if you can't get online, a phone call, something like that. And like I said, if it's before, some people have been winding down, some people have been taking bubble baths, some people have been making sure that they have a few of their children come and stay with them, because sometimes grief can be complicated. Grief is something that you can't just wake up from. Sometimes grief can last a couple of days, it can last a week. Once it hits you, it hits you. And especially now when you're having to make a decision, oh, mom's passed with the coronavirus at the nursing home, what do we do? What are we going to do with her remains, and who's going to come? So it's more than just grieving the loss of the loved one. Is the whole process of it. You don't get that memory, as most of us has had to prepare for our family members and take the time to have loved ones come in and all of us just fellowship together. You won't have that opportunity. So you have to think about all those dynamics as well.
Yeah. And I like what you said earlier. People are using different video talks and Zooms and other formats where you can actually see someone. I know every morning every day, afternoon, even if we miss the morning, we have a group text. My family, which is my brother, my niece, my nephews, all of us, my sister, all of us, we get on and, we'll send funny messages, encouraging messages, good morning, great risings, hello, everyone, have a great day, funny emojis, just to kind of, reach out and touch each other, even though we're not here together, but we're still here. We might, may not be in the physical realm, but like you say, maybe old school, buying some stamps. I can't tell you the last time I bought a roll of stamps, but I think I'm gonna start that again. And we may need to start writing some letters because
We can't
I
depend
think
on technology right now. We're in a crisis. So just like Zoom is crashing, those cell phones gonna start crashing because everybody's on them. That's the only mode of communication, even through healthcare.
Yeah, exactly. And guess what? We're gonna have to start getting them dictionaries out because that spell check ain't gonna help you when you write them letters. So we're gonna go ahead and get that together. Can a sister get a dictionary and a thesaurus around here? But
And if anyone is grieving right now, or like myself, you're apprehensive about the holidays and you don't know if it's going to be a good holiday or not, get your plan in place and reach out. Even if you got to say, hey, can y'all come do a drive by? And, today is a rough day. I'm missing dad or mom or whatever. Like, let the individuals in your life be there for you. Even though we can't do much, we can do something. I've seen some people do drive-bys, just waving. Teachers have been doing it for their students. So any little thing like that, reach out to your loved ones that you know who have problems with grief, just in general. Like I said, maybe from the past, and y'all do, it could be something small, like you and your siblings, y'all can get online and say, hey, let's do something together for mom. You share a memory, I share a memory, and then we do something collectively to let her know that we miss her.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Last question.
Yes, ma'am.
So what type of legacy do you want to leave your beautiful daughter after everything that you've endured and your journey? Because your journey, because I know that you're a young sister, right? Still young, right? And but I mean, you have traveled, and you've gotten a chance to just really travel your path. What legacy is it from the path that you traveled that you would like to leave your daughter?
I want my daughter to be happy.
Yeah.
And there's not an amount of money or businesses or real estate or education that I can leave behind that will keep her happy. The one thing that will keep her happy is me being healthy and happy, and me teaching her how to cope through life. Of course, I'm going to leave all of those things. I'm going to do exactly what my daddy left for me, triple. She won't have to worry about those things, but those things don't make you happy unless you're happy within yourself. So I want to teach her how to love herself and be able to cope, because every day won't be a good day. And I want her to know that life is going to happen, but she can deal with life on her terms. Life is going to not always be good to her because she's going to be a little Black girl in America. So she's already in the negative. So I want her to know that you're capable, you're beautiful, no matter what society may think of you because of social media and all those. I can only imagine what it's going to be when she's 18. She's 2. So that's what I want to leave her with: happiness. No matter what goes on in life, just know God is there and your happiness lies within him.
Oh, that is so awesome. And you know what? She is very lucky to have a Dr. Tiffany Zachery as a mommy. So, I mean, because your journey, you and I have talked on the phone, and I know that, you may have had some tough moments, but, you managed to take those tough moments and you managed to give back to other people and show them how to deal with the tough moments and help them overcome and get to the other side. And for that, I want to say thank you for being a servant to the community and to the people when they're in dire need, when they can't find answers from a loved one, and they may need to sit down and talk to someone who doesn't have a biased opinion of them. And I thank you for just being that outlet and being that person and taking the time to to continually grow and evolve and give yourself more education, more background, and you're constantly studying and learning, so that way you can be the best. Servant to the community, be the best counselor, role model to your daughter. So I want to say thank you, because that is very empowering, and you are a force to reckon with. And I am proud to know you, and I am honored to that you allow me to interview you today.
Can I say one thing?
Yes,
If there's anybody out there that may not be as educated as I am, may not be as fortunate as I was to overcome the things they have experienced in life, the one thing you can leave your legacy is, and I can't express this enough, is how to cope through life. Because you won't always be there as a parent or as a guardian, whatever role that you may play in that child's life. So just make sure that you're teaching them strength, whatever that looks like in your culture and in your family.
That's good. That's good.
Because even this, the coronavirus, they may have, God forbid, another pandemic. We're going to be able to teach them, okay, this is how you get through something that even a nation don't know what to do with it. Even our officials don't know what to do. But this is what you can do as a human being, because there are people committing suicide, unfortunately, during this time of this pandemic, because they don't know how to cope.
Mm-hmm. And that's powerful. So I thank you for that. And also, I want you to be able to tell our listeners, how can someone reach you? Let us know what platforms you're on, and let us know what you're doing and what you have coming up.
You can definitely reach me on my website, drtiffanyzachery.com. You can reach me on my business line, 225-614-2757, if you're in need of therapy or know someone in need. I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Dr. Tiffany Zachery. And if you want to send me a letter, you can send me a letter too. I'm sure you could Google my business address. I'll respond to it. Look, I'm not any way you need to communicate with me, because I've learned today that some people don't have internet in new subdivisions. They don't have internet, so they can't reach out at all. So any way that I can help you, if you have a question, if it may not be for you, it may be someone you love and you're concerned. If I can't help you, I have a plethora of colleagues in different states and different countries that I can refer you to. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. And please give me grace if I don't reach back out to you. Circle back around to me, and I promise you I'll get back to you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much for being with us today. And well, before we close, I want to share a piece with you that I do, because I write poetry and stuff. But it's a short piece, but it's a piece just to kind of give some enlightenment and some encouragement to myself, to you, and to others who are listening. This piece is entitled "Dance Out Loud." You can't live out loud in silence, and you can't dance by holding up the wall. Yell out your victories, scream aloud your dreams, and boldly dance away the anchored shackles of the past. Your voice is beautiful. Your steps are graceful, and you are the vocal elegance of the melodic ballet of triumph. Speak until you are speechless. Dance until you cry. Then exhale the victory of the Creator's love. So that is that. So I just want to thank you and thank everybody. Thank you for watching Legacy Talks, the beautiful creative baby of the Louisiana Black Legacy Film and Arts Festival. I want to give a shout out to my second mommy, Namzamo Iyanu, for the clothes and the jewelry. And remember, you look good in Namzamo's clothes. She is located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm gonna have to get that address. I can't call it out, but Namzamo's Fashions. Y'all make sure y'all call her at 225-924-2625. Yes, Namzamo's. I'm your host, Sista Scha Gibson. Always remember, complacency kills dreams, but legacy builds legends. Y'all come back to see us next Monday. We love y'all. Peace and blessings to all my ancestors. Thank you for being with us today. One love. Peace and blessings.